First and foremost, I want to give all honor, praise, and glory to our Mother, Father, Creator, and to the memory of our great African ancestors, whose shoulders we stand upon, whose backs we lean upon, and whose shoulders have held us up until this day. My name is Imahkus Njinga Akofu Ababio, affectionately known as One Africa. I am a repatriated African, originally from New York City. I have been in Ghana since 1987. And I am one of the elders of the Teaching Artist Institute. This series deals with artists as essential workers. And artists truly are essential workers because artists bring so much to their community. They bring joy, they bring laughter, they bring music, they bring, when you say an artist is not just someone who picks up a paintbrush, but we bring all of that, whether we're sculptors, whether we're graphic artists, singers, poets, we're creative. So I am with TAI, Ghana, and it gives me really great pleasure to be able to share some of my creativity with you. And I want to give a special thanks to Kim for inviting me to be a part of this very valuable program. So I'm going to start off by sharing with you some of my creative work. The latest poem that I've written is called A Lockdown Poem, COVID-19. Here I sat during lockdown with plenty of time on my hands, and I was busy. I did have quite a few things that I had an opportunity to do because I was in a restricted area, but I wasn't depressed, and I used that time to, I'd say, to be able to demonstrate my creative genius. So I'll let you decide how much of a genius you think I am. My poem is called A Lockdown Poem, COVID-19. The title, I Wept. I wept for those who will live. I wept for those who will die. I wept for those who lied. I wept for those who died. I wept for the mothers and the fathers, the sisters and the brothers. I wept for the whole world wide. I wept for a world gone wild, where good sense became nonsense and people no longer had sense. The rich will die with the poor, and what once was will be no more. I wept for the grandmothers, the grandfathers, the aunts, the uncles, the cousins, the nieces, the nephews, and the friends, and the world we once knew, but will never know again. So don't give up the fight, African people of the light, long known for our might, endurance, and insight. We were gods and goddesses then, and will certainly be that again. African people, rise up. Let not this enemy destroy us. With love, unity, diversity, and trust as our thrust, winning this battle is a definite must. It is our time to rise up from the dust, reclaim what is rightfully for us, our African birthright, our freedom, our trust, and liberation, a must. Let's throw in the lake Bill Gates and his mates, in the lake of fire and brimstone where they can't atone for the misery they've thrown at a world that now moans. It is now time to throw the wicked baby out with the bathwater. Our ancestors implore us to follow their orders and take back what is rightfully ours. Our minds and our dignity and love for our families, our natural resources without remorses, our rich and our fertile lands. Let us take Africa back from the foreign hands that stole our land, those who do not love us nor mean us any good. Africa will not be a graveyard for us, but will be for those who have come to molest us. Listen to the reverberating voices on the wind, the voices we hear now and the voices we heard then. Rise up, my Africa, and do not bend. It is now time to send the enemies of Africa out of our lands. It is time to rise up, O great Africans, to institute our plan. We will weep no more. I will weep no more. My second poem, or is a tribute to my sisters, Mama Lena Diop and Njinga Jana. As I sit here and write this, my heart is heavier than I can ever remember. To say I am devastated is putting it mildly. To say I am shocked is even milder. To say I'm sad, there are no words to express. To say this too shall pass is doubtful. For I am lost without words I cannot explain, tears which I cannot control. But what I do know is that I have lost my sisters of more than 25 years. Our ancestors brought us together in Ghana and connected us. 25 years ago, Mama Lena Diop showed up at our door. A small unfinished house in a small fishing village in Itri in Elmina, accompanied by her sister, Majua Akpang, and brother David Jawara. We heard there were some African Americans living here, and we wanted to come, welcome, and celebrate Kwanzaa with you. The fact that we had no flushing toilet, running water in the house, no electricity, and no furniture. We were all sleeping in hammocks, with the kitchen outside. But that did not deter them, not one bit. They were more determined than ever to stay, which they did for several wonderfully enriching days that led to our ever-living lives together. From that day until their tragic deaths last, we could not have been closer than being born of the same mother and father. Gone are the early morning and late night phone calls. Gone is my herb doctor, always looking for ways to help heal others. Gone is the advice and comfort we gave to each other. Gone is the couch that immediately put me to sleep as soon as I entered her house. Gone are the walks we took with the dog. Gone are the strolls around the labyrinth built by Nzinga at Fihankra, a symbol that created a sacred space, a place which took us out of our ego to that which is within. Ever the peacemaker, she created this space for our spiritual walks for peace and harmony within the community and ourselves. Their lives were a secret journey about change, about growth, about discovery, movement, transformation, continuously expanding their vision of what was possible, stretching their souls while learning to see more clearly and deeply, listening to their intuition, and taking courageous challenges at every step along the way. Gone are the dreams we had for tomorrow, for growing older and better together. Gone are my loves. May our great African ancestors whose shoulders we stand upon bring to book those who cut short your lives, my dear sisters. May you not rest in peace but continue on the path of glory and vindication as our warrior queens in the quest for truth and justice. I miss and love y'all so very much, and I am so proud to have been able to call you my sisters. In closing, if I knew it would be the last time that I would see you fall asleep, I would tuck you in more tightly and pray the Lord your soul to keep. If I knew it would be the last time I'd see you walk out the door, I would give you a hug and a kiss and call you back for one more. If I knew it would be the last time I'd hear your voice lifted up in praise, well, I'd videotape each action and word so I could play them back each day. If I knew it would be the last time I could spare an extra minute or two to stop and say, I love you, instead of assuming you would know I do. If I knew it would be the last time I'd be there to share your day, well, I'm sure you'll have so many more, so I can just let this one slip away. For surely there's always tomorrow to make up for an oversight, and we always get a second chance to make everything right. There will always be another chance to say, is there anything I can do? But just in case I might be wrong, and today is all I get, I'd like to say how much I love you, and I hope we never forget. Tomorrow is not promised to anyone, young or old alike, and today may be the last chance you get to hold your loved one tight. So if you're waiting for tomorrow, why not do it today? For if tomorrow never comes, you'll surely regret the day that you didn't take that extra time for a smile, for a hug, for a kiss, and you were too busy to grant someone what turned out to be their one last wish. So hold your loved ones close today and whisper in their ear. Tell them how much you love them and that you'll always hold them dear. Take time to say, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. Or it's okay. And if tomorrow never comes, you'll have no regrets about today. Forever yours with eternal love and respect. It's your sister, Imahkus and Zinga, Okofu Obabio. One Africa. Wishing you good day. So those are just two of the poems that I've written. I've also written several books. I have a book out called Returning Home Ain't Easy, but It Sure Is a Blessing. And that book talks about the challenges of an African woman born in America who repatriates to the land of her ancestors. And I say not problems, but challenges. And it certainly has been a blessing, because after living more than 50 years, or living at least 50 years in America, I finally had the opportunity to come to live in the land of my ancestors. I set aside all of those negatives, the negative media hype about how terrible Africa was. And in my self of selves, heard the call and came home to mother. Needless to say, I was definitely really pissed off when I got here and saw that all that stuff they told us about Tarzan and all the rest of that was a lie. So my king man and I, Nana Okofu, Itri Kweku I, Ababio, came to live in Africa. Ababio, we were told by the chiefs that we should put Ababio at the back of our names, because Ababio means he or she who was away and has returned. and we have in fact returned. My second book is entitled Ababio, He or She Who is Away and Has Returned. And that book is I co-authored that book with 18 other people who had repatriated, and they telling the stories about why and how and what those challenges had been in returning home. And then my other book, which is really a booklet entitled Points to Ponder. How do you get ready to come to Africa? With all the things that they told us about Africa, you had to bring your own toilet paper, you had to bring your own soap, you had to bring your own food. I mean, people will come to Africa with so much stuff. And we would meet people at their hotels to welcome them because we lived in a small village. There were no other African Americans there. So whenever we had an opportunity, we used to chase tour buses. And when people were leaving, they would leave all of that stuff that they did not use, Dinky Moore's beef stew mix and sardines and all sorts of stuff, Maylocks. They would leave all that stuff with us, okay? So that's why Points to Ponder came about. And then on my other creative side, I was a clown in America. By profession, I'm a human resource administrator. I worked in a hospital for about 15 years. But then I became a clown. And my name was Peanut Butter, P-Nut Butter, the African American clown. I wore a flaming red afro wig with these large glasses and long gold eyelashes. I never painted my face white because I didn't want to frighten the children. We had enough of that with the Ku Klux Klan, who wore long white robes and masks over their faces so that we couldn't see them when they came and killed a lot of our people in our homes living in the South. American racism. And so, keeping with Africa, I wore a kente cloth jumpsuit, and I had kente cloth strips which had buttons of some of our leaders. Leaders like Martin Luther King, Fannie Lou Hamer, Jesse Jackson, and let's not forget Michael Jackson, Prince, people like that. And then I would ask children questions. I also, when someone said they wanted to have a party, then I would do a little biographical sketch. How many children are coming to the party? What are the names of the children? What is the child's favorite colors? Things like that. And so I would make a bouquet of the various colors, favorite colors of the child, and then I'd write the guest names on those balloons. And then I had a second bouquet, which was red, black, and green, which was representative of African people. That was our liberation flag colors. I carried a boombox, and that boombox was Stevie Wonder singing Happy Birthday to You. And to top it off, I wore size 18 Nike sneakers. It was really good. I mean, it was a second job. It wasn't even really a job as such because I had a good time. I was being creative. I was teaching children, and I was making $300 to $350 an hour or so to come in and entertain. And Nana, who was then known as Benjamin Robinson, was my driver. Because once I take these glasses off, I need a dog. I can't see a thing. So Nana was my driver. So in 1987, I visited Ghana for the first time. And in 1990, Nana and I, and Bongo Shorty and Mama D, who came from Jamaica, friends of ours, we moved to Ghana, where I've been ever since. I've been in Ghana now about 32 years that I've been there. I've met a lot of people. In Ghana, I brought peanut butter to Ghana. And so I was asked to do a party. And I must tell you, I scared the hell out of those teachers when they saw me. They slammed doors and windows and, told the children to get away from me and shoo, tried to get me to leave. And so I sat on the step, like this. And so some little children came, and when they saw me, the children weren't afraid. They sat down on the step with me. And, I had my dejected clown look on my face. So finally, one of the teachers, she cracked open the door a little bit, and she was saying, "Go away, choo." So I had to lift off my nose, okay, and say, "It's me, Sister Vienna. It's Sister Vienna." Pull up my wig. That relieved her. But I had scared them. So we went in, we were having a party, and there were about 50 kids at this daycare center. And we were in a yard, but we were like in a valley. So up on a hill, there were some other children. And when these children saw the balloons, they rushed down to the party. So the host of the party was like in a panic. No, they can't come in. Go away. Nana Akofu, who we call the Pied Piper of the diaper set, because children love him. When they see him, they just get all tingly all over. So now I said, "Look, don't worry about it. Let me handle this." So sure enough, he was talking to the children and telling them how you just can't rush into the party. If you want to sit on the wall and watch, it's okay. We're one African people. We have to have respect. He did this whole thing. And children just love him. So sure enough, he says to the children, "I want you to repeat after me. Say, 'One Africa.'" And they were like, "One Africa." He said, No. Say it like you mean it. 'One Africa.' I want everybody to say 'One Africa.'" So sure enough, being creative as we are, the children started. "One Africa, one Africa." And I said, "No, like you mean it." And you talk about African creativity, these children started rocking. "One Africa, one Africa, one Africa, one Africa." They chanted, they rocked that house that day. So let me just digress a minute. I want to go back to one of the things that peanut butter would do with the children, because it ties into our history, because that's what I was teaching. One of the characters that we portrayed was Harriet Tubman. And Harriet Tubman was a conductor of what we call the Underground Railroad. And Harriet Tubman was responsible for bringing more than 300 enslaved Africans in America out of slavery. So one of the things that I have children to do is chant. Harriet Tubman didn't take no stuff, wasn't scared of nothing neither. Didn't come in this world to be no slave, and didn't stay one either. So by doing that, the person that stayed the longest got a prize. So quickly, back to One Africa and how we got the name. When the party was over, we went home. We came back to town, and the first child we saw said, "One Africa." And every child we met said, "One Africa." Another time I was in town and I brought some visitors because I'm also a tour operator. And everybody we saw said One Africa. So one lady said, "Why do they keep calling you that?" I said, "Because they think that's my name." Sure enough, the next young man I saw, because she didn't believe me, I asked the young man, "Do you know me?" And the young man said, "Yes." I said, "What's my name?" He said, "Mrs. One Africa." So that's how we're known. So I just want to say that, just bringing to light our creativity. My husband, Nana Akofu, unfortunately was killed by a hit-and-run driver in Accra. And so my partner of many years is no longer with me. But I just want to remind us of who it is that we are. We are one African people. We are creative. We are geniuses in so many areas. I would just like to close saying that the ancestors should continue to guide and protect you, to keep you from hurt, harm, and danger. And that we remember always that we are a great people. We are, in fact, one African people. So I close saying peace. Namaste. May you have an absolutely blacktastic day and be all that you can be. Peace. One Africa.